actually, let's take a second and look at the evolution of my brows, because it's actually really crazy. Okay, I'm not going to touch that anymore because I feel like I may have just messed that up. The good thing is that if you over pluck, I'm going to sneeze. Welcome back to my channel. So I know I look kind of crazy, we're just gonna put a pin in that right now. Basically today I showed you how I created my brows. That was a really weird sentence. Today I'm going to show you how I do my brows. Not how I created my brows. God, am I God? No. I show you how I do my brows. So I go from literally, I really should have kept this one without plucking it. It's really bugging me now because I did half of the steps on this brow, but I didn't do half of them. Like the ones that are complete. Wow, why can I not formulate my sentences today? Yeah, so basically my brows are just really, well, were really overgrown. So I go through the whole grooming process with you, how I sort them out, like on a weekly, or even weekly, like every few days, the kind of grooming process I have to go through with my brows, and then I show you how I apply the makeup. So this side is all groomed up, and this side is groomed plus makeuped up. So you get a bit of an idea of how I go through literally from unibrow Devi to this kind of Debbie. So anyway, I really hope that you enjoy this video, and yeah, gonna let you watch it. So thank you guys so much for clicking on the video, and I'll see you in 2 seconds. So as you can tell, my eyebrows are feel like we need to take a moment of silence. My eyebrows are so ridiculously overgrown. I have not like plucked them or done anything, like no, I've not done any maintenance to them in maybe a week. Yeah, I'd say probably about a week. So I don't know why I'm even going to do this, but I'm going to zoom you in so you can see the state that they're in right now. I still can't believe I've even come on camera with my eyebrows looking like this, but it's besides the point. So okay, this is what they're looking like right now. Oh, such a dramatic slow zoom. Oh my god, why am I zooming in so much? This is what they're looking like. Okay, they're not too bad, right? Like, they've been worse, but as you can see, I've got loads of like stray hairs here. They need a bit of a trim too, because you can see they're like a bit all over the place. And just generally, like, they need a little bit of shaping. I need to clear up the middle. Brown girl problems, if you know, you know, unibrow prone, all of that. So yeah, we're gonna sort them out first so that they are nice and clean, and then we can get into how to fill them in. And I don't know why I'm still talking zoomed in this much. So I normally like to pluck my eyebrows when I've just come out of the shower or something like that, because then the hot steam from the shower has opened up your pores, which means it is a lot easier to get the hairs out. But I mean, I've not done that, so if you can't do that, I like to sometimes steam my face as well. So if you get hot water, so like you boil the kettle and you put it into like a big bowl, and you just put your face over it and put a towel over, and it's like quite intense. Be careful, like make sure you've got a safe distance away from the water and stuff, because obviously it's boiling hot water, and it basically just like gives you a wave of heat over your face, and it starts to open up your pores, and that's really good for your skin anyway. But it also really helps when you want to like pluck or whatever, because it means the hairs can come out a lot easier. But I'm not going to do that because, not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little bit lazy right now, so that's why. But ordinarily I would do that. Then what I do is I go in with my moisturizer, and you guys know that I love my Oilatin moisturizer, emollient cream thing. It's because I'm eczema prone, so it's really like thick and oily and just so if you like that thick consistency, try this cream out because it's incredible. So I like to, I've already moisturized my face, but what I'm gonna do is take some along the areas that we need to remove the hairs, so across the middle and just underneath my brows, like this. Make sure it's all moisturized in, kind of like warm up your skin a little bit. And then I use tweezers. I just go straight in and pluck. I don't thread or anything like that. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to pluck out the stray hairs. God, that was really dramatic. I don't know why I put the cream down so like abruptly and then everything just broke around it. Anyway, so what also can help is if you take a spoolie to brush your brows. So if you brush your brows upwards like this, you can see where the stray ones are that don't fall in the shape of your natural brow. So you kind of get like an outline and a guideline as to where you want to pluck and where you'd be over plucking, if that makes sense. Okay, so I have just finished up this brow. You can kind of see the difference. Should I zoom you in again? I think I'm gonna zoom you in again, against my will. But okay, wow, okay, that is quite a difference, isn't it? Let me just brush them through a little bit. Damn, okay. So as you can see, this one I have tidied up the bottom of and this one I haven't. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to match this one off camera. So I'm just going to do exactly what I did on this side. And then I will get back to you and we can go over how I trim my brows. So I have just done and finished up. I have just gone and finished up the other brow. So now they look a little more similar and under control. And oh my god, I'm so happy I've finally done this. So the next thing I'm going to do is neaten up the top. So what I like to use are these like little nail scissor kind of things. So first I take my spoolie and I brush up the front of my brows, like literally upwards like this, just like the first section of the brow. Then I take my mirror. This bit really stresses me out because it's like the make or break of your brows, no pressure. And then I just go along and I just trim it, making sure that I'm only trimming when the hairs are going like directly upwards, if that makes sense. So I'm just trimming across. You don't want to go too short, so go like take your time with this. So can you see, maybe I should be zooming you in. I think I really should, so I'm just going to do that now. But that is not zooming in, so there we go. Okay, I'm just going to duck down. Yeah, so you want to make sure you don't take too much off. Go in with just little snips. Little snips? That sounds weird. And then you don't want to go too far along your brows. So these ones, I'll like leave them be. But I can start with these. So I'll just trim them. Because I love a straight brow. So I want all the hairs to go like really straight like that. Like I like this line to be very linear. So that's one done. And now we go and repeat the same on the other side. So brush them up and you see how they're just all like all over the place. They're all different like lengths. Oh my gosh, with these nails I can't pick up anything. Okay. And trim. Going in with little snips. Sometimes it helps to kind of like glide like this across because it gives you some stability and it ensures that you stay in a straight line, if that makes any sense at all. And then you can just check the length, brush them up, see how it's going, and then make any edits that you need to. Okay. Then I just kind of like wipe away the excess, brush them through. And we're currently left with something like this. Now you can leave it here or you can edit I don't know if that was the right word. You can adjust how far in you want your brows to go. Also, yeah, my nail is broken. Let's just like not draw attention to it. So personally, like, so everyone has an eyebrow which has like a little tuft, so the hairs go like in that direction, so they go this way and then forward and then that way. Does that make sense? So this is my one. So I like to pluck the tuft because it really bugs me. I really don't like it, but it's like personal preference, and you don't want to make your eyebrows go like start too far in. Do you know what I mean? I did that once. It was a really dark time. I will insert a picture now. Actually, let's take a second and look at the evolution of my brows, because it's actually really crazy. Really crazy. So before, I had unibrow. Then my mum said I was only allowed to pluck the centre of my eyebrows, so then they look like this. But then because that was the only area I could control, I made it really wide, and then I started plucking underneath, and then they look like this. And that was just, it's just a very dark time. And then what did I do next? Oh yeah, then I started to like the bushy look, you know, when like big bushy brows were in. I mean, they still are, but I went a bit like out of control with it. So then they look like this, and they were just really like intense, but it was kind of like my signature feature. Do you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, like the big bold brows. And then I was like, okay, they need to tone down a bit. And then that's how we got to the current brow situation. So they are significantly skinnier than they have been in a long time, let's just say. Anyway, I went on a full-on tangent, but basically I want to pluck the tuft. I can't believe that's all I was trying to say. Yeah, it's up to you. Like, I love the way that this one fades, but this one really bugs me. So I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna take some of the hairs that I feel like are going in the wrong direction, and I'm just gonna pluck them away. Okay, I feel like I low-key just overplucked on camera. Okay, I'm not gonna touch that anymore because I feel like I may have just messed that up. The good thing is that if you overpluck, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, it's gone, never mind. If you overpluck, makeup comes in very handy because it's all fixable, you know, like, so don't stress, it's all good, it's all fixable. So okay, that's basically it for the grooming side of things. So now what I'm gonna do is just apply my foundation, because I always apply my foundation before my brows. I didn't used to, but now I do, because I just really prefer it. I feel like applying my foundation after I've done my brows becomes really tricky and awkward, and I don't like it. And I like to have the middle bit all like applied with foundation, instead of trying to go in after with foundation and not like get it on my brows or like mess up the fade of the front of the brow. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like it's a lot more like, it just makes it so much easier on you to do your foundation first. But anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do now. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'm gonna come back, and then we will pick up where we've left off. Okay, up close and personal, guys. So I've done my foundation. I feel like it's a bit of a weird colour match. Like, why does my nose look really white? Is it just me, or does it look really light? Besides the point, that's not the focus of this video. Anyway, so I'm gonna go straight in with the brows. I felt like, even though I didn't want to, I should zoom you in so that you can see what I'm doing properly. So I use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Dark Brown. I have used this for so many years, and it is my absolute ride or die brow product. I can't imagine doing my brows... Where was I? Oh god, what was I saying? Yes, my ride or die. I literally cannot imagine doing my brows with anything other than this. Like, it's incredible. I know that it's awkward, especially if you guys are in the UK. Like, Anastasia isn't easy to get a hold of, but I promise you it is worth it. And the good thing about eyebrow products is it's kind of like easier to guess your shade. So I guessed this. Like, I just watched some tutorials and stuff, and I was like, yeah, good match. Like, I'm sure my eyebrows can deal with that kind of colour. And yeah, it's right. And dark brown works really well for me. As you can tell, I'm running low. I do have a backup ready, don't worry. Anyway, I'm just rambling. I'm just going to show you what I do now. The brush I use is my Zoeva 317 wing liner brush. This is what it looks like. So it's like a slanted, very thin synthetic brush. So that is the thickness of it, and this is the shape. And literally, guys, this is incredible. I know it's for wing liner, but it gives you the best precision. Like, whew, the best precision. Unbelievable. So I've already brushed through my brows with a spoolie, so you want to make sure that you do that. Get them all nice and neat and in the right direction before you add any product. And then you can kind of evaluate where you need more product or where you want to put less product and stuff like that. So I'm just going in like this. Just kind of warm up the product slightly. Get it on the tip of my brush. And let's start with this brow. So I start with the top and the tail, right? So this is the area which is the most sparse with hairs, and I want to perfect that shape. So I'm following my natural brow shape, but I'm just enhancing it and making it more blocked out. So I want it to be parallel shaped. So I'm going from here, and I'm going to draw the line of, like, the outline where I want it to go to. Okay, that was a bit thicker than I want it to be, but it's fine. First stroke and it's already a disaster. And then curl it round. I can't talk while I'm doing this. I think that's why I'm struggling right now. And join it up at the bottom. Extend the tail a little bit if you want to. And then I start to fill it in from the tail. Oh my god, why did I just do that? Did you see that, guys? That stroke was like madness, but it's fine, don't worry. So I go from the tail and slowly start filling it in, because I like the faded look of it being like lighter here and gradually getting more into a block brow. So you want the most product towards the end of your brow. So I'm just going in with light strokes. As you can see, I've not picked up much more product. I'm just kind of applying it where I see any sparse areas with just whatever is left on the brush, because you don't want it to be like a permanent marker kind of vibe. It's just not the look that I'm going for today. So as you can see, the tail is a lot thicker, so you can compare the two. You can see how it's a lot fuller. Then I'm taking just a little bit of product. I'm not going straight into like the mass of the product. I'm just going kind of on the side. And I'm going to neaten up the top. So I'm drawing a straight line, going all the way from the front, all the way across, joining it to what we've done further down. And then I'm, with a very light hand, feathering that product so that it's got a bit of a fade and a blend. Okay. Now I'm going to take a little bit more product and I'm going to go on the bottom just to extend this line. So I draw the line of the bottom of the brow. Again, making sure it's darker and more precise towards the end, and then slowly dispersing the product. So I'm dragging upwards like this, going in really lightly towards the front. So a straight line, but then blended it up. So you can't literally see a direct line, it's blending into the brow. Just blend it, and you can take it as far forward as you want. So if you've got any sparse areas, I take the little point and I just do little strokes upwards. And blending it out. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that, but I want this area to be a little bit more crisp. So I'm going in with a bit more product. And I'm just perfecting that shape so that it's more crisp. If that's not the look you're going for, then you don't have to do that. You can be a lot more free with it. But that's just the vibe that I'm going for. Okay. Next, I'm just going to disperse the product more evenly with my spoolie. So I'm kind of brushing the product out, and you want to brush more so towards the front because you really want to make sure that this is nicely blended, especially because I want the fade. So brushing it through, making sure there's no harsh like strokes that I've applied. Brush it in the direction of your brow. And that's what you're left with at this point. So let me come a little closer. Are you focused? So this is what it's looking like. right now in comparison. It obviously looks a little bit more bulked up and thicker. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's basically all for the actual product that we're applying onto the brow. Now, this next bit I feel like is when I decide if I like my brow or not, and it's when we clean up with concealer. Guys, if I had to pick between filling in my brow or cleaning up with concealer, I would go straight into just cleaning up with concealer, because I feel like it makes just the biggest difference. It's an absolute, like, dream. It just, oh my god, it just makes it. I'm going to be using my Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer, and this is in the shade Warm Beige. This is light for me, but it gives you that like bright area around your brows, as long as it's not too bright, because we're going to do it along the top as well, and you need to just make sure you blend it out. If you blend it out, then it's all good and you've got nothing to worry about. And I have this brush. Sorry, this isn't a brush I can actually like tell you much about. Oh, actually, do you know what, it kind of is. It's not a makeup brush though, that's why. It's actually a paintbrush, a synthetic paintbrush, and this is like the best brush. I use this all the time. You guys have seen it in loads of my tutorials before. It's a Dalla Rowney paintbrush, and it is in the number 4. That's the shape. I have that one stray hair on it, which is really irritating, but that's how thin it is, and that's the flat thickness. And the precision you get with this is amazing. Also, because it is synthetic, all the bristles are so perfectly neat, aside from that one. So, like, see how, like, precise that is? And that is exactly what you need for this step, guys. I literally cannot emphasize this enough. You don't want a brush which has any, like, fluffy edges. For example, you see how this one has, like, some fluffiness around it? This one, it's like, it's got a fluffy tip, right? You don't want any of that. You want them all to be really, really clean and neat, because that will give you the crisp, like, perfection of the shape of your brow. Does that make sense? It makes it crisp. It's the only way I can describe it. Crisp is just the best word. It's the most suited. It makes it crisp, basically. Okay, so I'm just taking the sorry, I got an email. Taking the concealer on the tip, and I'm going to start by cleaning up the bottom of the brow. So I'm raising my eyebrows like this, and I'm going straight in, and I'm not going to talk because otherwise I know I'm going to mess this up. So as you can see, I've just drawn that line all the way from before where my brow starts, and you want to make it as straight as possible. So follow the line of your brow. And it just cleans up so nicely. And then once you've done the line, you can drag the product downwards to blend it out. So pull the product down and then blend. And then I like to just go like this and blend out that line. And now we're going to go and repeat the same thing along the top. For the top, I like to use more of the flat side of the brush. So I go in less with the tip and more with the full surface area of it. So I take the product all across it and make sure I get all from one edge of it all the way to the other edge is completely coated with concealer. And then because it's got a really neat brush, because it is a really neat brush, it will make this part so much easier. So I go flat and I drag it across. See that motion? Flat and drag. And you want to make sure that the edge, which is closest to your brow, is really coming out clean and neat. So it's got to have a lot of the concealer product on. So I'm just applying a little bit more onto my brush. And going really close to the brow. And follow it down. And you're literally carving it out to make the shape that you want. And you want to go from before where the brows actually start so that you get that fade. And blend upwards. Then I just take my concealer brush, which has disappeared conveniently. Got it. This is my Real Techniques Deluxe Concealer Brush. It doesn't really matter what you use for this. You just want to like buff out the edges of the excess product. Just don't go too close to your brow, because otherwise you're going to mess up like the neatness that you've just worked so hard to create. And then I'm going to do the same for the center. Oh, I just got some actual brow product there. That's perfect. Well done, Debbie. I'm just going to take that, fade it out. Carefully go in with this and fade the transition. Yeah, that's basically the look. I'm not gonna lie. That's the finished brow. Okay, so that is basically the end of this tutorial. There you can see, like, I know that like my face isn't done and stuff, but I want you to see the difference of like the two brows. So obviously this one was cleaned up, groomed and everything, but just this is just the difference that the makeup can make. So yeah, we have before and after. So anyway, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you've got any questions or anything about this or anything else, just drop me a message down below or DM me on my Instagram, which is @beautybydevi, which I will put here, and it's Devi with 2 V's. So just message me, let me know if there's anything else you want to see or any questions about this look or any other look, and I will get back to you. What else was I going to say? I think that's it, and I think I'm just trying to waffle. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Mwah! Bye guys!